King was major inspiration along with the civil rights movement which inspired the Native American rights movement in the 1960s. Of many of his leaders, John Ikovic, and a member of the Pavi tribe and the executive director and one of the founder of the Native American Rights Fund, found fund stated inspired by Dr. King, who was advancing the civil rights agenda of equality under the laws of this country. We thought that we could also use the laws of advance our Indian ships to live as a tribes in our territories governed by our own laws under the principles of tribal sovereignty that had been with us ever since 1831. We believed that we could fight for a policy of self-determination that was consistent with U.S. laws and that we could govern our own affairs, define our own ways, and continue to survive in this society. Politics. As the leader of the SLCL, King maintain a policy of the not publicly endorsing a U.S. political party of our candidates. I feel someone must remain in the position of a non-alignment so that he can look objectively at both parties and the consciousness of both, not the servant or a master of the either. In a 1958 interview, he expressed his view that neither party was perfect, saying, "I don't think the Republicans Party is a party full of Almighty God, nor is a Democratic Party. That they both have weaknesses, and I am not inextricable bound to either party." King did not praise Democratic Senator Paul Douglas of Illinois as being the greatest of all senators because of his fierce advocacy for civil rights causes over the years. King critiqued both parties' performance on the promoting racial equality. Actually, the Negroes has been betrayed by both the Republican and the Democratic Party. The Democrats have betrayed him by capitulating to the will of the caprices of the Southern Dixiecrats, and the Republicans have betrayed him by the capitulating into the bluntness and hypocrisy of the dictionary right-wing Northern Republicans, and this coalition of the Southern Dixiecrats and the right-wing reactionary Northern Republicans defeated every bill and every move toward liberal legislation in the area of civil rights. Although never publicly supported a political party or non-candidate for president, in a letter to civil rights supporter in the October 1956, he said that he had not decided whether he would vote for Adlai Stevenson second or the Eisenhower at the 1956 presidential election, but that in the past Iowa always voted the Democratic ticket. In his autobiography, King says that in 1960s he privately voted for Democratic candidate John F. Kennedy. "I felt that Kennedy would make the best president. I never came out with an endorsement. My father did, but I never made one." King adds that he likely would have made an exception to his non-endorsement policy for a second Kennedy's term, saying, "Had President Kennedy lived, I would probably have endorsed him in 1964. In 1964, King urged his supporters and all people of the goodwill to vote against Republican Senator Barry Goldwater for president, saying that his election would be a tragedy and certainly suicidal almost for the nation and the world. King supported the ideal of the democratic socialism, although he was reluctant to speak directly of this support due to the anti-communist sentiment being projected throughout the United States at the time and this association of socialism with communism. King believed that capitalism could not adequately provide the basic necessities of many American people, particularly the African American community.